Up to this point, we've been talking about drawing and vector objects quite a bit, and I wanted to go over some of the other aspects of the program. When we started out, we wanted to make sure we also took care of the image processing aspects of working with images, and we basically broke this up into the classic categories of image processing, the really fundamental parts, anyways, that we wanted to cover, namely convolutions, color transforms, transformations, and let's see, there are a few others, but we wanted to make sure we covered those basics. We've already talked about the convolution kernel class, which is used for creating blurs and outlines and edge detection and sharpness and that sort of thing. We've already talked about that. I wanted to also talk about the color matrix and the transformation class and a few of the others. So let's talk about the color matrix for now. This is how we implemented the ability to make color changes to an image, and it's pretty much the simplest way we could implement this, and it also gives us high performance. So let's just jump right into the code. I've already created a form and added a couple of these scroll bars to it, real simple, just 3 scroll bars, and I've done a little bit of coding already to speed this thing along. Let's see, we don't need that. Um, in the form load event, I've added let's see, a save undo. I want to make sure I've done this private. Want to make sure I have a dog object in the program that's if not global, at least private to this form that I can use anytime I need it. And I'm going to call save undo, which is part of that dog waffle class. Dog save undo. This saves a copy of the image in the undo buffer internally. The undo buffer is sort of a stack of undo images that we can later go back to if we need to. This is important to the user to be able to undo, of course, but this is also, excuse me, this is also important to the color matrix, because when we work with the color matrix, we're working directly from that undo image instead of the main image. The reason for this is because when we make a change to the color on the image, we don't want this to be cumulative. Otherwise, every time we make a change, it'll build up on us and will eventually ruin our image. We want to go back to the fresh copy each time we make a change. That way, the user can work with this and not be destroying his image. All right, so since we've saved that undo image, we're now ready to start. For each of these little scroll things here, I've added in the change event, I've added this function called process, and I've created that function called process here. And since this is going to be global to this class, or not global, but have class or the scope of this form, I'm going to move this up here as well. So we'll have a copy of this dog waffle object and this color matrix objects. Um, and it'll have the scope of the form. All right. So a color matrix. We created a variable called color matrix as an object. Private color matrix as new VB color matrix. You have to use that new keyword when creating an object, an instance of an object. All right. Now all we have to do in this process function is work with our color matrix. And then we do a dog refresh, dog waffle dog refresh. A lot of dogs in there for some reason. That lets us see what's on screen. So let's work with some of the functions of this class, this color matrix class. Let's start with the basics, color add. This will let us add and subtract colors from this image. So let's plug in those H-scroll values. And the range of this H-scroll happens to be 0 to 255. I've set that up already. Just plugging in each of these values from these scroll bars. The H is for horizontal scroll, by the way. H scroll. All right. So, so this starts from 0 to 255. I'm going to scroll that. And something should be happening, of course. Let's see. I got the refresh. Oh, one other thing we have to do is color matrix dot apply. So, the reason for that is you can do several of these at the same time. You can do color matrix add, color matrix contrast, whatever, and have them build up, and then you can finally apply those all at the same time. So, anyways, let's look at this, and you can see we're adding some red to that, and as we go back down, it goes back down. If we were not working from that undo image, every time I add red to this, it would accumulate, and I would not be able to scroll down here and remove that. So that's why we work from that undo image. All right, so I'm adding red to it. I'm adding green to it, and I'm adding blue to it. Let's look at some of the other functions here. Instead of color add, I'm going to do color color multiply. And since this is a multiply, we want it to start with 1. So I'm going to do 1 plus that value. 1 plus. But I also want to divide this by 255. So it's 1 plus. The maximum value will be 1, and the minimum value will be 0. So let's do that for each channel. I'll copy and paste that. And I'm going to make sure I have the correct scroll bar. Oops. All right. And all right, there we go. We can see that we're adding, or we're not adding this time. We're multiplying. We're starting at 1, and we're going all the way up to 2. So that's multiplying the red channel by 2 right there. Or multiplying the red channel by 1.5 right there. Hope you're following what we're doing here. But this gives you the ability to adjust colors. Previously, we're adding them. Now we're multiplying them. This is sort of like doing a tint or something similar. Now let's see, dot color matrix dot contrast. Not sure why this is called color contrast. Probably in the future it'll just be called contrast, but let's this only takes one parameter. So I'm gonna just use the first scroll bar, and I'm gonna restore this image as well. Let's see. Let's see. So contrast, I think, will be multiplying by 1. So let's make that 1 plus H scroll 1 value divided by 255 and see what happens. So you start out on the first step and it looks normal. You multiply it by 2 and it gets very contrasty. So that makes sense. That is equivalent to changing the contrast on the image. Let's make a quick change here. Let's make this minimum value of negative 255 and do a little test here. So this will actually make the image less contrast. In fact, that's completely gray. So you can reduce contrast by using negative numbers there. Very straightforward. All right, let's put that back to 0. minimum value. And let's do one more. Let's do